Talk to him.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the winters were left in the cold.
Question of the day. When should a man disregard a woman's past? As y'all can see the artwork for the day. Check it out. Y'all see the artwork for the day showing Kevin Gates and Brittany Renner. Now we know Brittany Renner. You know what I'm saying? We know Brittany Renner, a lot of us do. Who in here? Who in here? Deacon, what up, bro? What up, bro? What's good, brother? How you feeling, man? 333 to you, man. You know what's going on with it. He said, I got in late. Nah, you here right on time, bro. We at the question of the day. I'm doing the code language last. You just missed the reaction video, but it's all good, man. It was a good one. Had some good diatribes on that joint. But yeah, when should a man disregard a woman's past? It's inspired by Kevin Gates. He just married Brittany Renner. And for people who already know who Brittany Renner is, you know what I mean? She you know, is known for a lot of things associated with, you know, sexualization of herself. You know what I mean? Whether it be her, you know, old videos about certain things as it pertains to, you know, her activity, her intimate activities with men, and, you know, her experience level with, you know, multiple different guys and things like that. Or whether it be knowing her from, you know, having a child with an NBA player, and, you know, it had been rumored that she was trying to take him to the cleaners for child support and all of that, which had been proven to be untrue. But nevertheless, a woman who publicly and, you know, self-admittedly had, you know, a past, you know what I mean? Like a past that, you know, some may or may not, you know what I mean, be proud of, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So not to harp on them specifically or her specifically, but to really move to what the inspiration for the question of the day is. You know what I mean? When should a man disregard a woman's past? So I guess in this situation, before y'all answer, chat, because I know Deacon probably cooking up some paragraph worth of articulation. I appreciate it always too, because you always be making sense, bro. Even when we not in perfect alignment, I'll be hearing where you coming from for sure. But I don't know. Like, I think, like, the mission I've always said is we need to reestablish the normalcy of a nuclear black family, right? Meaning that, like, most of your children's friends at school have a mom and a dad at home, right? We need to reestablish the normalcy of that, versus it being normal to only have one parent at home. So that's the mission, right? So I think in order to accomplish the mission at this point, because of the impact and the side effects of what feminism has done and the decision making that women have done over the years with their liberation, I think in order to reestablish the normalcy of the nuclear black family, it's going to take an abundance of men who disregard women's past to resolve the issue for us as black folks. For like, in particular, you're gonna need some men who, like, I ain't tripping off, you know, them 4 kids, or I'm not tripping off this little reputation or whatever you telling me that you got, or that little one experience you told me that you're not proud of, or whatever. Like, they gonna need some men who, well, what they would call judgment is really just a matter of a different ideologies, right? Different preferences, different levels of importance, right? Some men find certain things important and prioritize certain things that they want from a woman that they would consider long term, and some men prioritize and want other things. I've heard men say, I don't care nothing about that body count shit. That shit ain't got nothing to do with nothing. You know, you with me now. You know, I heard plenty of men with that thinking. And then, you know, I know some men who are very rigid about that. Like, you know, they damn near trying to run into a nun. You know what I mean? So what we doing, chat? All right, we got a response from Deacon. Deacon says, I don't think that you should never disregard a woman's past. I believe that women have the power to break nations down. Example, America. By disregarding her past is like filing bankruptcy. Ooh, okay, okay. So you don't think that a man should ever disregard a woman's past? Okay, so let me ask you another question, Deacon, for you to spell out. I hope you're not driving either. Don't risk it. But if you're not in motion, and you could type to me. Um, when you say that you don't think a man should ever, oh, okay, he already on it now. He not in motion. He typing. It may clear your debt, but the impact that it takes is a detriment to the economy. And if enough people do it, it breaks the economy. Tenfold. Yeah, I was gonna ask you for elaboration on that, but you already were on it. Cool, cool, cool. So your opinion is that you don't think a man should ever see. That's what I'm saying. And I've heard men on both sides of the fence in regards to this one. What up to everybody falling in 333 in the chat? Make sure y'all holler at me in the chat. This the question of the day. So this one of the most interactive parts of the live. So if y'all not moving around and y'all able to interact, holler at me in the chat. I post all comments. I read them out loud and answer y'all respond to y'all takes, even whether I agree or disagree. But yeah, I think that it's an individual case basis thing. I don't know, to answer the question in general, when should a man disregard a woman's past? I would say if it's if you feel if it's something like the situation where it's a well-known past, like let's say she used to do OnlyFans, but she didn't change her life, gave her life to God. But what she was doing was very public. Let's say she had ran up the numbers on social media. Let's just do a hypothetical. And so she's well known for being an OnlyFans girl. Like a lot of people done seen the goods, right? But you bump into her and she's a changed woman genuinely, right? And you see it and you around her in person. Everybody else just know the internet version of her. You know, at what point do you say, you know what, I'm gonna take this woman serious in spite of some of the things she's done on camera? And you could dull it down to something less intense. Let's just say she used to just be a dancer, and a dancer with integrity, not one that was doing crazy stuff in the club, not one that was, you know, doing this and that. You know, when do you say, you know what, that don't matter to me? You know what I mean? I'm here now. You, this version of you, that's my only concern. Let's rock out. You know, when is that a thing? And then when is it like, okay, you did these things in your past. I appreciate your honesty, but you know, I'm gonna slot you over here now because of that. What y'all think about that, man? I say what I think. I think that you first. My answer not going to be so straightforward, but I'll give an answer though. I think that first a man has to start off with knowing and understanding himself. Once he go from knowing and understanding himself, he can make an informed decision on what his tolerance level is and what his, you know, his pet peeves are and his tolerables and his non-negotiables. Like, okay, you got some men who are a hard no on women with children. Then you got some men that are like, I don't mind children as long as they under the age of this. Then I've heard some men say they don't mind children as long as they older, damn now almost out the house. Then I heard some men say they don't mind kids as long as it's only a certain number of kids, right? So everybody got their own different philosophy. So in order to answer this question, I can't make it general this time. Sometimes generalizations apply, but I'm not going to apply them with something like this. I really think the answer to this question is an ICB, individual case basis situation. If you don't care that a woman, you know, back in her hometown, you might meet her because people move, but you go back to visit her hometown and some dude at the gas station holler at you by the cooler and let you know the chick you in there with, you know, you must don't be from around here. You must not know about her. And he give you some game. And now you find out some shit she ain't told you about her past as far as her moving and grooving and everybody had a ride type shit. You know, you got to decide within yourself if that's one of them things where the version of her I know is what's important to me and I ain't tripping off that versus it making you look at her different. I think either move or either change would be justifiable. It just depends on who you are. Deacon got another response. Deacon said, I think that women believe that we're punishing them, but I think that God built in us a mechanism to disqualify women, just like women have in them, an automatic disqualification within them. And so you believe that certain decisions that a woman may have made are potentially disqualifiers. What are some disqualifiers, Deacon? Let's branch off on this. What are some disqualifiers? What do you think are some general things that would disqualify? I could say I've made exceptions on certain shit that should have been disqualifications. So I feel you. But I think as men, part of being a man is, getting the game from playing it, right? You got to get out in the field to catch a pop fly. Let's see. He said it's repulsive for women to have a high body count to men, just like it's repulsive for a man to be weak and broke. I think these systems are built in us so that we can keep society going. I definitely agree that men should definitely be strong. And I definitely believe that men should be providers for sure. You know, um, as far as women's body count, that conversation is one that gets so touchy for a lot of people because, first off, well, here's the thing: to discuss it, how do you ever get the truth? How do you ever get the truth? So you can't even really have a conversation. Who's telling the truth? The only people telling the truth is people who are proud of their numbers. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a lot of people keeping secrets that they proud of, you know, unless you just a private out the way person altogether, which would also be in alignment with the fact that you probably have a body count you proud of. Staying out the way, not doing too much, being private, being to yourself. You know, you probably see the game a little bit slower, and so you can make better decisions. You don't turn the ball over as much. You know what I mean? So, but how do we tell? You can't even tell I mean, I feel like through conversation and spending time with a person, eventually you have an idea of whether or not they have more experience than you comfortable with. But as far as narrowing it down, like, oh, I could tell by looking at her, she got 40, but like, or a woman could look at a guy and be like, I know he done been around the world twice. Like, you know, that part you can't really tell. And then if you ask somebody, good luck getting the truth. That's what I'm saying. That's a tough discussion altogether, bro. Yeah. But nah, man. Back to what I was saying in regards to like when should a man disregard a woman's past? Yeah, you just gotta know yourself to know whether or not the past that you hearing about or whatever she divulging to you is something that's not gonna unsettle your spirit as you go along. Cause a lot of times you might really, really like her, but you find out something that is really not settling well with your spirit. You try to make peace with it, and then you end up burning up a bunch of time learning that you can't really make peace with it. Or it might be something that you feel like ain't a big deal, but then the fallout or the effects on her said past had start to show up in the relationship down the line, and then that could be a problem, and they work both ways. Unresolved shit from a guy, but I think at least a lot of the fellas I know, a lot of their past consist of learning the nature of women. Like, women go through their younger years, if they not intentional about locking in and finding marriage and finding a husband in their early 20s or mid 20s, if they not intentional in that way and they on some I want to have fun type shit, they oftentimes spend those years learning that their taste in men is ass naturally, and that they don't really choose what's good for them innately, and then they trying to smarten up a little later in the game for the ones that's unintentional. So that's what they get when they go out into the field. They learn how choosing bad turns out. You know what I mean? Essentially. And then the men who are unintentional, who just want to have fun through their 20s, they end up dealing with a lot of different women that deal with them for a lot of different reasons, and they learn what getting finesse feel like. They learn what getting curved feel like. They learn what having success feel like, right? They learn all these different experiences. They learn what, and so they end up getting the game from playing it, like I say. So men and women gather different things from playing the field. Deacon, what you talking about? He said, I ask and I inquire about my wife's body count. I also investigated to see if she was telling the truth. I searched everything that I could find, and I asked crafty questions. Oh, you a whole detective. You 12. What else you say? If body count is important to you and she lies to get you, then she has taken away your ability to choose. That's why if I ever found out my wife lied, I'd divorce her immediately. Oh, you got a firm boundary. You got a line in the sand, huh? You got a moat. I hear you though. Yeah, I mean, yeah, some things you could find out that'll make you feel like, you know what, this ain't even off the strength of this information. This ain't even what I thought it was at all. So I want out completely. I could see why you arrive at that. Hey, brother, listen, your boundaries, is your boundaries, dog. I ain't. Hey, I respect that. I respect that for sure. For sure. Yeah, but like I can honestly say, for real, like my type, because I got a type. It's not really a physical type, but it's like a personality type, character type, mental type. Like the females I like, they kind of low body count centric, just because of the characteristics that I like in females and like the demeanor and the temperament that I like in women. They kind of don't be coming with all that whole bunch of experience. Like women I date or run into or gonna try to take serious, it normally be a situation where they had like one or two, maybe three like serious ass relationships they've been in their life, like relationship type girls. I don't really be like really, at least not in no recent years, talking to no females that spent hella time single and shit, like testing the market and shit. That's a lot of, listen, man. If y'all think these men and women out here single and celibate, y'all crazy as hell. So you go on a first date with a female, she tell you she been single 5 years. She done dipped her toe in a lot of water. You feel me? Or a lot of toes been dipped in her water. You feel what I'm saying? It's a safe assumption. Now you could be wrong. But again, that's a conversation. Just like Deacon said, he inquired about his wife's body count. It's conversations motherfuckers can't be scared to have on no date. I ask shit, oh, okay, how long you been single? Oh, she say, 5 years. Oh, okay, that's what's up. 5 years. That's a bit of time. That's a half a decade. Okay. So, how have you been practicing celibacy? I'm asking. Yeah. Let's see if you're gonna lie. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Or you been situation shipping it up? I need answers. Cause that shit be mattering, yo. Because like it's different types of single people. All single people don't move the same. So that shit matters. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about inquiring about the past, whether it be recent past or the long, like distant past, you know what I'm saying? Some poor decisions she made when she was 15 and y'all dating at 40, it's like, come on, bro. Like, what we really talking about? But it depends. Were them things traumatizing? Have you worked on them? Like, it's people who ain't got over plenty of shit from childhood. So these are all like, when you talk about disregarding the past, because is she gonna disregard your past? Is she gonna disregard your past? Is she gonna, take you as you are with, whatever, because whatever happened to you, I don't know. It's a good conversation though. It's a good conversation. Y'all let me know in the comments. I'm finna move on to the code language discussion though here in a second. But y'all make sure y'all drop comments. Make sure y'all stay in the chat 333 if you with me. And I want to hear what y'all think about this. But we're gonna move on to the next segment.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold. Harden my heart and now harden the flow. They don't know me for